All right, guys. So I guess thanks for getting on the call with me. It's a little nerve-wracking for me. I'm not a big fan of speaking in front of people, but when Ashley asked me to do this call, she asked me, what I wanted to talk about, and I thought about it for a little bit. And I think the thing that I personally struggle with the most is having belief in myself and thinking that I'm going to have any success with this business. So I decided that that would be something that would be good to talk about because I don't really feel like I'm there. I still struggle with it, but I've grown a lot in that area. So I think that that's something that I could talk about. I'll go back and I'll tell you my story if you don't know why I started or how I started. I've been doing this for 2 years now. When I started, I signed up as a customer. My daughter was 2.5 and my youngest was 9 months old. I was very out of shape. I was nowhere near being fat or overweight. I'm naturally a thin person, but I was definitely a skinny fat. Uncomfortable in my own skin. I felt really old. I felt older than I was. I couldn't stand up without, creaking or grunting or groaning. I couldn't carry my daughter up the stairs without taking a break. It was just huffing and puffing. And I just felt miserable in my own skin. And that's why I eventually reached out to one of Ashley's posts about a challenge pack. At the time, I was out of work. We were definitely living paycheck to paycheck. There was barely, if any, money at the end of the month to put into my kid's savings account. And that's like a horrible feeling to know that you're not saving any money for your kid's future. There was just enough money at the end of the month to pay our bills, or worse, to have to dip into our savings to pay some bills. So me going back to work was on the horizon. It was a reality, and it was something I was going to have to start looking at seriously. And I wasn't excited about it at all because I had been a graphic designer prior. And why I like graphic design, and I still like to do it, for fun things, it really wasn't something I was passionate about. I wasn't passionate about doing it for other people, for other companies. And it's not really a well-paying job for the amount of time and hours and energy spent putting into it. It's not well-paying. And I really didn't know where I was going to go and be able to work and pay for child care and have it be worth it. So that's where we were when I decided to sign up as a customer. And I had a copy of TurboFire, so I was going to use that, and I bought a bag of Shakeology. And in all honesty, I bought this bag of Shakeology assuming I would return it. I just wanted in that challenge group. I really wanted in that challenge group. I couldn't afford that bag of Shakeology. I really assumed I was going to be returning it. But 2 weeks in, and there was no way I was returning it. I was hooked. I was hooked on the workouts. I was hooked on the challenge groups. And I was hooked on the Shakeology. There was no way I was going back at that point. So that's when I started asking Ashley about signing up as a coach for the discount. And in my mind, I was like, okay, if I get a discount, and maybe I can make like $30 or $40 a month, and that would take the Shakeology down to $50, or what I think I was paying $89 at the time. That's what it cost as a coach. I'm like, I can do that. That I can do. So that was my big goal, was to pay for half of my Shakeology, earn half of my Shakeology. I didn't have huge goals going into this. I didn't really think anything of it. So as soon as I signed up, literally that night, I decided I was going to start posting. So I started posting, and I went at it as a salesperson. I mean, I posted, all the Beachbody ads. I posted the before and afters. Everything read, check this out, message me for details. I mean, it was bad. Every time, if you have Time Hop on your phone, every time that dings during the day and I go and I open it and I look at posts from 2 years ago, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing how bad my posts were, because I really did just was like, check out this before and after, message me for details. I mean, and just pictures of insanity. That's all I did. I spammed people right and left. And somehow, some way, I had success that way the first month. I hit Success Club 10 and I went Emeralds within my first 4 weeks. And then every ounce of success I had was gone after the first month, because that sales person thing, it doesn't work. You know, you might get those first, like, you might get a few people that, you know, that just buy stuff, because everybody knows you have that friend that just buys anything. They'll just try anything. So anyway, that's the people that I got. I posted anywhere and everywhere. And that's what I did. And I did have success like that the first month, but then it all went away. It went away quickly as it came, it was gone. So a few months later, 2 months later, Sandy hit. We weren't directly hit by it, but my town was, surrounding towns were. It was really bad. We were without power for over a week. And it wasn't a time to be posting about Beachbody and working out and eating right. It just wasn't the time for it. And that was right for a while. But then I let that excuse just linger and go on and on and on. And then 2 months later, I mean, the people that were directly affected by Sandy are back at work and doing what they need to do. And I was still using it as an excuse. So my business was gone. Everything I worked for physically and nutritionally was gone. The only thing I was still doing was drinking Shakeology every day. Other than that, nothing. December rolls around. And for some reason, I really wanted a Shakeology Snuggie. And that was the Success Club. But I wanted to have the Snuggie. So I'm like, all right, this is what's going to get me back on track. So be it, a Snuggie. I'm going to hit Success Club 5. That's my goal for December. And I did it. I got back on track. I started doing what I needed to do, and I hit Success Club 5, and I earned that Snuggie. But it got me motivated. I got the momentum going back. So every month from then on out, Success Club 5 was my, I don't know what happened, I think someone's sharing the screen, was my goal. No matter what, every month, Success Club 5, preferably higher, but Success Club 5 is my goal every single month. And it's been that first hit it. And it should be your goal too. So I think someone's got to mute because I'm getting feedback. Everybody mute. All right. So after that, I had my momentum going. I started building relationships with the coaches I was signing, because prior to that, I didn't build any relationships with any coaches. I signed them up. I let them go. And guess what? They were gone. I let them go and they left. So I started building relationships with my coaches at that point, the best that I knew how at that point, because I was still new. I didn't know much. Ashley was still pretty much new. She didn't know much. So it was a learn as you go type of experience. I did pretty good. I signed my coaches. I helped 2 coaches to Emerald. And by April, I had hit Diamond. And then I hit another plateau. I hit a plateau. My team hit a plateau. We didn't do bad. We never did bad. We did pretty good, but we just kind of sailed on. There was no spike. We just kind of stayed as we were and did what we did, and we didn't grow. It was at that point that I decided that, all right, something needs to be done, starting my own team. Branching off Team Never Surrender was great. Ashley was great, but it's time for us to move on, move forward, and get bigger. And that's when I decided to start Team Fierce Ambition. I decided to figure out how to start treating this like a business. It wasn't a hobby anymore. I learned that for me to have success, I needed to help my team have success. I can't reach goals if they don't reach goals. So I had to figure out how to help them. And since then, our team has completely taken off. We've gone from 20-something coaches to 120-something coaches since January. And I can't say enough good things about my team and my coaches and the teams that they're building. It's just amazing. They're amazing. So as I said in the beginning, when I first started this, when I first signed up, I had no belief in myself. I had no belief that there was any room for success for myself in this company. You know, there was already thousands and thousands of coaches above me. There's no room for me. I don't have what some of these other coaches have. I'm not Lindsay Matway. I'm not this bombshell, like Hollywood, X Factor. I mean, she's got it all, that girl. I don't have Melanie Mitro's organization skills, and I'm certainly not nearly as motivational as Lindsay Stay. I mean, I don't have what those women offer. I just don't. I have me. So I went into this thinking, if I hit Emerald, that's pretty good, darn good. If I make $100 a week, that's pretty darn good. So those were my goals. I didn't really have any, I really just didn't believe there was success past that for myself. I remember saying to my husband, if I can earn grocery money every week doing this, we're good. That's good. I'll be proud of myself. And he's like, yeah, that would be great. If you can do that, that would be awesome. If you can pay for our groceries every week, that would be good, because that's money in our savings account then. So that was it. That was what I was going for. But it was that non-belief in myself and my fear that held me back from building this to what it really could be, from building this business, from making connections, and from succeeding. By nature, I'm definitely an introvert. I'm very shy. I'm a lot better now than I was growing up. I was painfully shy at one point. You know, there's people on this call that knew me in high school that probably never heard me say a word. I was just that shy. So this is a company, like running a business like this is difficult for someone like me. I don't strike up conversations very easily. I was very scared to put myself out there. I was embarrassed to admit that I was a Beachbody coach. The way I saw it was like, who am I? What business do I have telling people how to live better, fitter, healthier lives, when last week I was sitting on the couch eating ice cream, and this week I'm gonna, do Turbo Fire and eat salads. Like, who am I to tell people what to do? So basically I had to find my confidence. It's not easy. You kind of have to really dig deep to find it, and it takes time to build it. You're not going to just wake up one day and be confident. So I had to find my confidence in this business. So, all right, how do you find your confidence in this business? I think the first thing you need to do is figure out who you are, find your voice, and make sure you're being heard. Especially when you're a new coach, like I said, I did. You copy and paste. You do a lot of copy and pasting. You take what everyone else, what all the other coaches are posting, and you take it and you post it. You post their photos. You post what they say. Sometimes you see posts come through your feed 2, 3, 4, 5 times, word for word the same. But guess what? That's not authentic. That's not you. That's not your voice. And it's coming across to your friends and your followers and your readers as pitchy and generic and salesy, because it's not you. And if they're friendly with you and if they've been following you for any amount of time, they know you. So make sure your posts are you. Don't be scared to be you. Everything that you're posting, it's your message about who you are, and you don't want your message to be that you're a salesperson. You want people to see that you are you're ready to help them, that you're passionate about coaching, that you're passionate about this new journey that you're on. You don't want your message to be to everyone that I saw workouts. You want it to be that I'm here to help you. So and the other thing is, which I know we talk about all the time, is know your market, know your niche, know who you're relating to. Don't throw a blanket post out there and expect to reel a whole bunch of people in. You have to know who you are, and that those are the people you can relate to. For instance, I know my people are the stay-at-home moms, the skinny fat girls, the women who feel crappy in their own skin, the women who feel like their mom and they're not much of anything else, and they need to find themselves. They need another way to get themselves out there. And back to the skinny fat, the thing about being that I always hear a lot when I'm talking to people is like, people always say, I look fine, but I don't feel fine. And I get that. Like, people always say to me, you don't need to work out. You don't need to eat healthy. You look great. So that's something I relate to. When I hear someone say that to me, I understand it, and I'm able to talk to them about that. Because it's weird feeling crappy in your own skin when everyone on the outside is saying that you look good. But anyway, so that's what I'm saying. You need to know who you're talking to. You always want your posts and how you're talking to be to one person, to be, you know, one-on-one to an individual. You don't want to talk to everybody. You want to talk to that one person. A lot of times, when people come to me, they'll say something like, I feel like you were talking to me in your post. I feel like you posted that just for me. And that's what I want to hear. And that's what you want to hear. That's what you want to try and do. You want to talk to that one person, that one individual that needs your help, that one individual that's just like you. You don't want to talk to everybody because everybody doesn't need you, but that one person does. So make sure you're talking to you. Talk to yourself basically in your post. What do you need to hear? You never need to sell the products. You never need to be posting pictures of the products. You don't need to sell them if you're sharing your passion for the products. If you're sharing not only what they can do for you, but for what they can do for others, what they have done for others, how they've changed people's lives. That's all you need to do. If you just keep saying that, you don't need to sell anything. Another thing is quality over quantity. You don't want to be annoying. You don't need to share every motivational post that comes through your feed. Share one, share two. Sharing one motivational quote once during the day and personalizing it and saying what it means to you is so much better than sharing 25 motivational posts over the course of the day. Just so make sure what you're sharing is quality. You don't want to be that annoying person. When you're posting about your challenge groups, don't sell a challenge pack. Talk about how excited you are for this challenge group. Make people want to be part of your challenge group, and then the challenge pack will sell itself. You don't need to sell it. Just get people excited about wanting to be part of your challenge group. So the other thing I think that's really important when you're trying to grow your confidence is having knowledge, because if you don't know what's going on, then you're never going to be confident. They say, that knowledge is power, and it's true with Beachbody too. You need to know your products. You need to know about Shakeology. You need to know about the programs that you're selling. And if you don't know an answer to a question, don't run to your coach group and ask. Look it up, YouTube it, Google it, go on the Beachbody site, because then you're teaching yourself as opposed to just asking someone to give you the information. Then you know the information because you just taught it to yourself. If someone asks you what equipment they need for this program, don't run and ask so-and-so because they're doing this, or don't go post it in your group because then you'll have to wait for the answer. Just look it up and then you know the answer. And then the next time you're asked that question, you have the confidence that you know the answer to their question. You can just answer them. So make sure you're taking a little bit of time each day. Go on YouTube programs, and you're going to be the most confident in your program. You're going to sell the most of the programs that you enjoy because that's the one you really like talking about. But your program isn't for everybody. So make sure you know all the programs. And it's as simple as just looking them up, reading a little bit about it, and watching some videos on it. It's not, it's not brain surgery. Just know your products. And know your business. Get on these coach calls, get into the back office. And if you've never done Coach Training Academy, do it. There's more than just the Coach Training Academy in the back office. There's lots of stuff. Go onto your coach page and go into the files. Listen to the old calls. Listen to, there's videos, there's files, there's plus to read. Seek out the info. Every time you have a question, don't run to your group and ask it. First, try and find the information yourself, because then you know it. You don't have someone doing the work for you. And I can tell you this, there are coaches on my team that every time they have a question, they run and they post it in the group. And they're always running and posting questions in the group. And I have coaches on my team that seek out the answers, that go and they're teaching themselves every day, and they're watching videos and they're going on YouTube. And I know exactly which coaches those are. And it's not because they're telling me that they're doing it. It's because I can see their success. They're learning and they're confident and they know what they're talking about. There's a big difference between the coaches that ask every little question and the coaches that seek out the information. And I'm not telling you not to use your coach group as a place to find information and to ask questions and to get help. But when you can learn something new, take the opportunity to learn it. Take 10 minutes a day and learn something new about the business. When you're confident about the business, you're going to be able to be confident about talking about the business opportunity. You need to know what you're talking about when you approach somebody about this, because you need to be able to answer their questions, because they're going to have a lot of questions. So go into that conversation confident. Just take the time to learn a little bit every day. Okay. Plans. You need to have plans. You need to know where you want to go, and you need to know how to get there. You want to be a diamond coach. You want to be a premier coach. You want to be an elite coach. That's great. How are you going to get there? What coaches are you going to work with? What groups are you going to run? What trainings are you going to have? You have to have a plan of action in order to get there. So as I said earlier, at the end of last year, my team, we'd hit a plateau. We were at a complete standstill. I was in a funk about it. We just weren't growing as a team. I needed to figure out a plan. I needed to take action. I needed to do something to change things up. If you don't change, there's no progress. That was why I decided to start my own team. But I also needed to look within myself to figure out what I was or wasn't doing. And once I did that, it was pretty easy. I wasn't being consistent, and I wasn't being focused on building my business and working with my team the way that I should be and helping them achieve their goals. So I had to set, I had to take action. I had to make a plan, and I had to figure out what was working and what wasn't working. And that's when I decided to start my team. I decided to be consistent in my group every day, all the time. And I needed to be consistently be a part of my coaches' lives and help them reach their goals. So you really have to figure, if you never change, you're never going to have any progress. When you're plateaued, when something's not working, you have to look within yourself. You have to figure out what needs to be changed. And then you have to make a plan and figure out the actions and how to make those changes. And that's how you're going to progress. If you never change, you're never going to progress. So like I said, when something's not working, look within yourself and figure out where the changes, because the changes need to start with you. Getting ready for this call, I actually listened to a ton of team calls this week because I just needed to. And one of the quotes that I heard on one of the calls I thought fit in with this, and it was, optimism means expecting the best. Confidence means knowing how to handle the worst. So I thought that was a good quote, and it really is. It's, when you're confident and you're knowledgeable, that's how you're going to be able to handle the rejections and the excuses and the no's. When you're confident enough, when you're confident and you have the knowledge, you're going to be able to give them an answer back on those rejections, give them an answer back on those excuses. And when they give you the no's, you're going to be confident enough to say, okay, I'm going to move on. Someone else out there needs my help. So just keep teaching yourself and just keep building that confidence. The more you know, the more confidence you're going to get. And the longer you stick with this, the more confidence you're going to get. And that's really all that I have to say. But I do have, I shouldn't say all I have to say. I have one more thing just to finish it off. The last thing I really just want to say is, and I know I've heard this over and over on every team call, and so I'm sure you've heard it too, but don't shy away from being a Beachbody coach. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be embarrassed. There's nothing to be embarrassed about by being a Beachbody coach. You should be proud of it. You're out there. You're helping people. You're helping people change their life. You're helping them reach goals. You're helping them see potential that they might have never even known they'd have. Even if you've never gotten one customer, I can guarantee you your daily posts are inspiring somebody out there. Somebody will reach out to you. Never be afraid to let people know how successful you are. And I don't just mean that in the financial way. I mean that in everything that you've gotten from Beachbody and as a Beachbody coach. I mean, I've gotten accountability out of it. I've gotten my health back. I've gotten energy. I've made so many friends. I've gotten myself back. I was lost. I was in a funk. I was mom and wife, and I didn't know who I was beyond that. So Beachbody, the biggest thing I got back from them was my confidence in myself. So there's more to it than just financial, and you need to put that out there also. And once you start getting those messages from people thanking you for whatever help or inspiration or motivation you might have given to them. It's really worth it. It's worth every little bit you put into it. And it's all because you're sharing. You're not doing anything more than that. You're just sharing your life and sharing what you're doing. So just remember that. And I think we're supposed to have like a little call to action at the end of the call. So my little call to action to you guys, and you can post this in our group, Ashley's group, whatever group you're in. What are you going to go do differently now to find your voice, and what weaknesses will you turn into your strengths? And that is all I have for you guys tonight. So I hope I did okay. Does anyone have any questions or anything?
Can you please repeat that, Zena?
Repeat what?
The call to action.
The what? The call to action?
Yes, please.
What are you going to do differently to find your voice, and what weakness will you turn into your strength?
Thank you. So I have to. We finally fell asleep.
Oh, did I talk him to sleep? Was it my monotone voice?
No. Yes.
Dry eyes, red eyes. That's how I feel when I'm talking, like that guy.
So you feel after growing a team and believing in yourself, that's what got you going in the business?
Yeah, I have to say, finally having the guts to start my own team and to start my own group and to start doing our own calls, I think is what gave me the confidence and gave the coaches on my team some confidence to just do a little more and try and grow a little bit more. I don't know, for me and for my team, it was that break off that we just took off after that.
Nice. Awesome. And you started off as a hobby coach at the beginning, right?
Yeah, I was definitely a hobby coach. I had no real goals. I never saw myself making any kind of actual income doing this. It was out of my realm. Like, I just, Melanie and Lindsay and all those people were like here, and I was like, well, you can't see my hands down here. And they are still up there. They're way up there.
To see you grow and do so good with your team and not be able to pay for your mortgage and things that you never thought, were possible. It's nice to see that happening to you now. So
yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing what this company can do. And it's really just by being consistent. I mean, I didn't do anything different or out of the box or crazy that any other coach did. I just did it consistently and just kept moving along and trucking forward and growing little by little, I guess.
consistency is, so people are always watching. And like you said, even if you don't get a customer, even if you don't even have your first customer, people are always watching. There's that one person you're inspiring daily that still doesn't have the gut to reach out to you. And, so it's always good to be consistent and positive and motivated no matter what. Yep. Awesome. Well, I don't know if anyone else has questions.
No, I don't know.
Stop the recording, I guess. I don't know how this works.